Hello, and welcome back once again to Infinite Jeff, the project where I, Jeff, read the book Infinite Jest, one page at a time, one day at a time, put it up on the YouTubes.com for the whole world to listen to and enjoy. This is page number 300. Here we go. To beg a script from hideous Equus Reese and then dash in at Brooks Pharmacy wearing a simply vile ensemble of synthetic fiber slacks and suspenders and tweed Donagio cap he'd had to cadge from a longshoreman's union hall. Poor Tony couldn't dare to wear anything comely, not even the Antioni brothers' red leather coat, not since the poor woman's bag had turned out to have a heart inside. He had simply never felt so beset and overcome on all sides as the black July day, when it fell to his lot to boost a heart. Who wouldn't wonder, why me? Excuse me. He didn't dare dress expressive or ever go back to the square. An email still had him marked for demapping as a consequence of that horrid thing with Woe and Bobby C. last winter. Poor Tony hadn't shared one feather east of Tremont Street or at the Brighton Projects, or even Delphina's in backwater Enfield since last Xmas. Even after email simply dematerialized from the street scene. And now since 29th of July, he was non grata at Harvard Square and environs. And even the sight of an Oriental now gave him palpitations, say nothing of an Aigner accessory. Aigner? Thus poor Tony had no way to cop for himself. He could trust no one enough to inject their wares. St. Cheese and Lola's sister were no more trustworthy than he himself. He didn't even want to know where he slept. He didn't even want them to know where he slept. He began drinking cough syrup. He managed to get Bridget Tenderhole and the strictly rough trade Stokely Darkstar to cop for him on the wink for a few weeks until Stokely died in a Fenway hospice, and then Bridget Tenderhole was shipped by her pimp to Brockton under maddeningly vague circumstances. Then poor Tony had read the dark portents and swallowed the first of his pride, and hid himself even more deeply in a dumpster complex behind the IPBWDW, footnote 102, local number 4 hall in Fort Point, downtown, and resolved to stay hidden there for as long as he could swallow the pride to send Lola's sister out to acquire heroin, accepting without pride or complaint the shameless ripoffs the miserable bitch perpetrated upon him. Until a period in October when Lola's sister went down with hepatitis G, it's a new one, and the supply of heroin dried up horribly, and the only people copping enough to chip were people in a position to dash here and there to great beastly lengths under an open public access sky, and no friend, no matter how dear or indebted, could afford to cop for another. Then, holy friend and connectionless, poor Tony, in hiding, began to withdraw from heroin. Not just get strung out or sick, withdraw. The words echoed in his neuralgic and wigless head with the simply most awful sinister footsteps echoing in deserted corridor quality. Withdrawal. The wingless fowl. Turkeyfication. Kicking. The old cold bird. Poor Tony had never once had to withdraw, not all the way down to the deserted corridor of withdrawal, not since he first got strung at 17. At the very worst, someone kind had always found him charming, if things got dire enough to have to rent out his charms. Alas, thus, about the fact that his charms were now at low ebb. He weighed 50, and that's the end of page number 300. Have a great night.